Gekikou Kamen is a new manga that I'm really excited for. I'm an ADHD-riddled otaku who daydreams about scenarios that will never happen while taking copious amounts of drugs. So I can totally relate to a group of late 20s who are unable to put their past behind them, obsessing over minute details of things very few people care for. The enthusiast, the historian, the fanatic. When you get into a hobby, you'll at some point encounter those who hold those monikers for a shared love. You may even become one of those yourself at some point. For a lot of otaku, they get deep into anime for a period of years before finally burning out. Either they abandon the media completely, or at least pull back for a little while. Gekikou Kamen, authored by the highly talented Takayuki Yamaguchi, gives you a very robust look at otaku culture, and those who never grow out of it. For fans of Tokusatsu, Super Sentai, Kaiju, this manga will make you squeal and squirm with how obsessed an otaku can be with their craft. The story opens with a group of people gathered at a wake. The person who had died was Akinori Kiritooshi, the leader of a university tokusatsu club called Tokubiken. He himself, being a huge otaku, keeps casual fans from joining the club, only holding out for the most dedicated, cultured of practical FX fans. It's here we see how Otoya Jisoji, a part-timer who sculpts his body to cosplay as Christian Bale from The Machinist, joined Tokubiken. Otoya is a reserved, brooding individual who is absolutely invested in this hobby. Upon meeting up with other former members of his university club, they hold a ritual in his apartment where they reenact a Sentai scene using a fully spec'd out tokusatsu armor in honor of their fallen comrade. This manga is so weird, but it's very good. The artwork is some of the best that you're going to find in a currently running semi-monthly manga. Yamaguchi is known for his ability with his pen, and honestly, I think he may be peaking as an artist right now. He's done sensational work in the past, but these characters are so normal, yet drawn so well, and the costumes have such incredible attention to detail. The writing may put you off. This is a manga made for otaku. It's very niche. As such, the non-stop dialogue may not work for you. You can't skim this manga. You'll spend a lot of time on each chapter, appreciating the historical depth that Yamaguchi dives into. The unease as well. There are moments in this manga that makes you hold your breath, waiting to see what happens next. The result of a kaiju showdown with inanimate objects is able to bring so much excitement to a manga that I have never actually experienced in real life. If you're able to handle the very uneven pace and the essays for each chapter, you'll be stunned by how outstanding this manga is. With less than 20 chapters, Gekikou Kamen has really turned me on to what's happening in seinen circles this year. Big Comic Superior has always housed great manga, but the shit they're cranking out currently is some of the best in the game. Kamen couldn't survive in any other magazine. It takes about a dozen chapters before we finally get to some major conflict, but it's a twist that gives hints to the reader that this story may become something very different later on down the road. The cast are written fairly well, but we haven't gone that deep with anyone outside of Kiritooshi and Otoya at the moment. There's not really fan service here, which is a plus. I was never worried what the women of this manga would contribute when the focus would be on them. Everyone here is an equal contributor to the plot, and despite the glacial pace over the most recent chapters, I feel a big turnaround in the story is just around the corner, and it won't betray the tone set in the earlier chapters. This manga, odd as it may be, will be a joy to read for anyone who's a fan of Japanese television and cinema, or otaku culture, or they're just into the history of modern Japanese entertainment. Gekikou Kamen is entirely comprised of an adult cast, so there's a lack of hyperactivity and over-the-topness that's very welcomed for me. But it is quite niche, and you'll definitely have to power through certain parts if Kamen media isn't your bag. I'm giving Gekikou Kamen a 7 out of 10.